If Fair Music. The bloody awesome podcast. Well, hello again, everybody, and it's episode 10 of If Beer Were Music, the podcast, and I'm Rich Mulligan. I'm bringing you some of the best music you haven't heard yet. And who have I got lined up for you on today's show? Well, we've got the Trashbag Pochos, Wonk Unit, Snide, the Interceptors, Rotersand, Garden Party Riot, The Week, Clock of Time, Taj Motel Trio, Pompeyjazz, Frozen Teacup, Offshore, Cato Street Conspiracy, Weird Feelings, and Deathbag. It's going to be great. Anyway, let's not mess around. Let's get ourselves dancing around the house, shall we? Let's kick off with our Trashbag Pochos and don't come home for the holidays.
I used to like the holidays, but now I'm not so sure. Since you left, your presents just don't have the same allure. I don't want to see you or your stupid fucking tree, so don't you call my parents or come crawling back to me. Merry Christmas, go fuck yourself. I can celebrate the holidays all by myself with a bottle of whiskey and my elf on the shelf. I don't need your loving, honey, I can please myself. Every single holiday always ends the same. Getting drunk on eggnog while we play these stupid games. Just this year I'll spread my cheer alone cause I'm a dick. And I hope St. Nick comes down the chimney and hits you with a brick. Merry Christmas, go fuck yourself. I can celebrate the holidays all by myself with a bottle of whiskey and my elf on the shelf. I don't need your loving, honey, I can please myself. I don't wanna open your presents. I don't wanna light up your tree. I don't wanna be with your parents while they sit around and talk shit about me. Fuck that. Merry Christmas, go fuck yourself. I can celebrate the holidays all by myself with a bottle of whiskey and my elf on the shelf. I don't need your loving, honey, I can please myself.
And what a start to the show with the Trashbag Pochos. They're actually from Lincoln, Nebraska. You're going to hear a little bit more of them coming up on the show as well. What do they think? They feel that they believe in conspiracy theories. And they refuse to do the dishes. Yes, there's a link between them two things. Anyway, bit of a Christmas song, but I missed it at Christmas. It's too good not to play. I love it. So there you go. You've had it. Hope you were bopping around like I am in my little studio. Anyway, moving forward, what else have I got coming up for you on this show? Well, I've been having a look at what's been going on in January. I like to see what kind of the weird and wonderful news events, and people have sent me a few ideas, so I've checked them out, because if Beer Was Music does not believe in fake news, we do not. Not unless we're making it up. Anyway, we'll not have anybody else's fake news, let's put it like that. So, moving forward again, active for a decade on the London punk scene, have been Wonk Unit. Wonk Unit, yeah. They've got a great little back catalogue, actually. I don't know if you've checked any of their stuff out, but I've been hearing them for a few years. And they've just released, in January, this little track. And I think you're going to like it. It's called Raise Your Glass. See what you think.
Sharp and smash and make it holes in what I remember.
Wonk Unit, brilliant. Anyway, the Literary Review magazine, a magazine of note, has announced that this year the cancellation of the Bad Sex in Fiction Awards. And they've done this because they believe that this year has had enough bad news already. No, come on, we've got to hear this. The Bad Sex in Fiction, that would cheer us up. That's going to cheer us up. Anyway, but they've decided to cancel it anyway. So anyway, I had a quick look at this to see exactly what it is. And what is really interesting is one of the winners. And guess who won it one year? Yes, Rachel Johnson. Rachel Johnson, sister of Boris. Yes, Boris Johnson's sister, Rachel Johnson, actually won an award for Bad Sex in Fiction. Now, it's actually came up with a couple of little examples of the Honourable Rachel Johnson's writings. And, for example, and I like this, groping like a moth caught inside a lampshade. Oh, yeah, that conjures it up, doesn't it, really? And this one, which I think was actually my favourite, a cat lapping up a dish of cream so as not to miss a single drop. What the hell was she trying to describe? I mean, never mind. Well, I think we kind of know. But anyway, so this is a woman who actually said in some article or other that Meghan Markle would bring rich and exotic DNA to the royal family. God, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, doesn't it, in that family? Bad Sex in Fiction, and apparently also won by, well, Morrissey. There's no surprise there. You just have to listen to any of his lyrics, really. Anyway, so moving on, we've got two in a row for you. And the first band you're going to hear is Snide. Snide are from Maidstone. And this is I'll Decide from their 2019 album, Louder, Stronger. And you'll hear that straight away, followed by a West Country ska outfit, the Intercepteurs. And that is from their album, You Are Here. Both of these albums are available on Bandcamp, and here you go. See what you think of these two tracks? Let's go.
I realized when I was so far away, I don't like being on my own. Every day with you so far away, my chance with you's been
country pile. Still standing, respectable style in your 15 minutes of shame. Sharp suit, new recruit, you're never too small to contribute. I'll bring the family into disrepute in your 15 minutes of shame. You can choose your sin, but you can never choose your fate. Don't make love by the garden gate. Love may be blind, but the neighbours ain't so. All's fair in love and war, but that's not what we came here for. Another consequence for you to ignore in your 15 minutes of shame. Go, go, Chris! Choose your sin, but you can never choose your fate. Don't make love by the garden gate. Love may be blind, but the neighbours ain't so. Be mindful of the words you use. Some sit in judgment, some stand accused, and some feel better while some feel abused in your 15 minutes of shame. Charming smile, beguiled, invited back to the country pile. Still standing, respectable style in your 15 minutes of shame. Sharp suit, new recruit, you're never too small to contribute. I'll bring the family into disrepute in your 15 minutes of shame. So all's fair in love and war, but that's not what we came here for. I know a consequence for you to ignore in your 15 minutes of shame. So be mindful of the words you use. Some sit in judgment, some stand accused, and some feel better, but some feel abused in your 15 minutes of shame.
For the generations that know their music.
Also in January, a certain high street chain had to recall thousands of candle holders after 12 separate reports of them catching fire when in contact with a flame. Let's just get this right. Candle holders were not fireproof. Right, what sort of Egypt designed that? What sort of Egypt let that through get into the shops? You know, somebody's job should be at stake. But it's been a bit of a month for candles, because in Canada, by the way, producer Keith comes from Canada, wouldn't be surprised if he's got something to do with this. I think he's behind no end of mischief over there, no end of mischief. Anyway, many scented candles over there had to be recalled, as it turned out that the wax could set fire if exposed to heat. Oh, yes, I like that one. Because, you know what, that puts me in mind of, you know, when you go on holiday or something and you decide, somebody decides, oh, you know what, I'm really trying to relax. I want to have a lovely, beautiful candlelit bath. You know, you see these, like, fools. And so they're sitting there, and you've got your kind of lavender-infused dog shite scented candle or something all around your bathroom. And all of a sudden your candles catch fire while you're there. So there you are, you've run out into the hall, stark bollock naked, with a burning candle in your hand, shouting, help, 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 my candle's on fire. Well, you would just be arrested, wouldn't you? Just be arrested. I try explaining that. Honestly, officer, my candle caught fire. Yeah. Oh, well. And, talking of bands that you can't hold a candle to, German industrial pop outfit Rotersand, still going after many a year, and this month they have just released an absolutely fine track. It's from the Grey EP. This particular track is called Light Grey. Rotersand, let's go, see what you think.
Since I lost you,
on black and white. You added grey to my colors. You cast grey into my mind. You added grey to my palette, and grey makes my true colors shine. You make grey look just fine.
One of the things I really love about doing this show is going through the stuff that people send me. Lots of people send me stuff. I'm digging out some of this stuff myself, and a lot of it is what people send me. So most of the time it's complete strangers who sometimes I get to know a little bit, a few little witty comments, messages, something like that. And when the gigs are back up and running again, there's so many of the bands that I've played on this show over the previous episodes that I really want to get out there and see. Especially obviously more in the UK because I can actually get there. But sometimes what's good as well is old friends, old people that I used to know start sending me their stuff as well, and it's great catching up on, you know, once upon a time we were all in the pubs and clubs around Coventry and whatever, and various people went on and joined bands and everything like that, and this is one of them occasions. Somebody I know, Paul, a friend of mine from years and years ago, he sent me the stuff he's doing with his current band. They're now actually out in New Zealand, people move on, and it's an outfit called Party Riot. So I took a listen to their stuff, and I particularly like this track, Blueprint Lie, and this is actually from their album, which is also called Garden Party Riot, which I would like to suggest that you all get out and have a listen to. It was only released in October, so it's fairly recent, so pleasure to play. Here we go, Garden Party Riot. Let's go.
stand tall.
Fair music.
Fuck, I like that one. I like that one.
Driver's illegal ham sandwich seized. Well, there's a Brexit story. We're going to get one sooner or later, weren't we? Anyway, this particular one comes from something to do with the Dutch police seizing lorry drivers' sandwiches. That could be ham or cheese or anything. And it's just basically down to the fact that you cannot take food over the border, certain types of food anyway. So that's what they've said anyway. That, it's down to Brexit, bloody Brexit, can't even take a cheese sandwich over the border now, sort of thing. Well, why would you need to? In all honesty, I mean, you can get a sandwich on the other side of the border. So I started wondering to myself, now looking at the size of most lorry drivers that I have came across, and they could be fairly big lads, could it be it's actually the health police stopping them? You know what I mean? So they're saying, like, excuse me, mate, we are seizing this cheese sandwich, but look, you can have this yoghurt, but they haven't heard that last bit. They don't want yogurt there. So anyway, there we go. They're now having your ham sandwich or your cheese sandwich is now illegal. There you go. I've got another two bands in a row for you, which I think you're going to like. And the first one you're going to hear will be The Weep from New York. And this is from their album released only in January called Too Much Nothing. And following that, you'll hear straight away the second of three German bands that we've got on the show. Germany, interestingly enough, is now neck and neck with the US on downloads for If Beer Was Music. Yes, it's coming way up there in the list of countries we get downloads. 22 countries we've reached now, 22 countries. Because we've recently had Brazil come on board. Hello, Brazil. I don't know where that come from. Straight out of the blue with episode 9, we began getting lots of downloads in Brazil. And you're perfectly welcome to listen. Hello. And why not? Anyway, the band that we're listening to, Clock of Time, they're actually from Berlin. And the track is from their Pestilent Planet album. And you're going to hear something to look forward to, is the name of the track. So 2 in a row for you. Here we go.
Could it be a
to look forward to. One day all this will be yours. Gonna tell you like a teacher. When I finally learn my lines, return to the stage, performing to the janitors, the Danny to my Kylie, clutch into relevance, opportunities expense, a fold in the face, a monument to spirit, a statue of hope, and grimace to believing you'll never believe the things that I see when I close my eyes, pretend to remember what it's like to be me. One day all this will be yours, something to look forward to. One day all this will be yours, and treat like a teacher. One day all this will be yours, something to look forward to. Here's one I bet you've never heard. Hold the folds on the face of the wise one.
Two in a row there from The Weep and Clock of Time. Okay, I was watching terrestrial TV for a change. Don't do a lot of that nowadays, you know, that sort of thing. You know, you put on Netflix, Amazon Prime, all the rest of it. I just every so often, I mean, well, put on terrestrial TV, you know, blow the dust off the buttons and that, and there it is. It's quite good, some of it. And I was watching the adverts, and I'm sitting there, and I'm so used to watching the kind of like the pay-as-you-go sort of stuff at the moment that like you don't really get as many adverts apart from their own stuff. So I'm watching an advert, and it's for erectile dysfunction treatment. Now that caught my attention. Yeah, it really did. Erectile dysfunction treatment. It caught my attention for various reasons. I mean, I'd noticed that I hadn't had, you know, that sort of thing happened to me for at least a couple of hours, you know what I mean? So I was beginning to get a little bit worried. That being said, I had been watching something with Claudia Winkleman on it, so it was hardly likely anyway, was it? So anyway, I'm watching this, and I thought, that's good that it's on telly now, because it used to be very, very hush-hush, that type of thing. You just wouldn't have mentioned it, would you? I mean, not, you know, people were going to notice. But anyway, what got my attention particularly the most was the fact that what it said was, you can order from the comfort of your own home. Well, where else? I mean, where else would you be ordering it from? It's not. You're not going to sit in the pub, are you? The telly's on, and you see one of the lads, and you're all having a pint, and an advert comes on, and it's going like, you can't get a stiffy. Can't get a stiffy. Well, that's all right. You can order this, and you think, you know what, lads? Just stop drinking for a minute. That's just cool. I'm just going to order this online. I'll be back in a minute. I'll get onto Amazon or whoever the hell it is, and then we'll carry on drinking, having a bit of a laugh. So, no, you wouldn't. Of course you're going to order it from the comfort of your own home. What did you have to mention that? Order it from the comfort of your own home. As I say, where else? Anyway, you're still in the mood for bopping around your house a little bit. I hope so, because you're going to be doing that now. Anyway, hailing from Cornelia in Georgia, and they've been around for a hell of a long time. 20 years, they are saying, and yet they're new to me. Anyway, released this month from the Acoustic Isolation EP, we've got the Taj Motel Trio. I hope some of you have heard about that. You're going to love this song. God Save the Scene. Let's go.
From me, wisdom
The best music you've never heard.
So what else is in my mailbox? Okay, I was talking earlier on about when people send me stuff, and I really like that, and I got this one from a certain John Bradley come through. Now, he's actually from my hometown, Coventry, originally. No, swanning it up, living it on the south coast, somewhere I believe at the moment. Not only from my hometown, I actually believe he actually went to my old school. Did you not, John, if you are listening? Yes, Cardinal Newman's, there we were, class of whatever. And anyway, he sent me some of his stuff that he's doing with his Pompeyjazz project. So John actually does a whole cross, a multitude of genres. You couldn't pin him down to one thing or another. He's been producing music for years and years. He does vocals, the instrumental, as well as the production, I should say. So I've been listening to a couple of his albums while I've been sorting this out, and I heard this track, and this one caught my ear. It's from his album that's called Mixed, and it is on Bandcamp, as is nearly everything that I have been playing. You will find that there, or SoundCloud. And this is Pompeyjazz, and the actual track is called Rotten Borough. Have a go at this one yourself. Australia to kill pigeon that survived 13,000 kilometre journey from the US. Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, clearly not a fugitive pigeon, because they give it a beer like that fella from earlier on. Let me just read a little bit of this out to you. A racing pigeon survived an extraordinary 13,000 kilometre journey in the Pacific Ocean, crossing from the United States to find a new home in Australia. But authorities now consider the bird a quarantine risk and plan to kill it. There's no word. Melbourne resident Kevin Kelly Bird, seriously, that's his name, Kelly Bird, said on Thursday he discovered the exhausted bird in his backyard on December the 26th. It had disappeared from a race in Oregon. It made it sort of, oh God, it wasn't a very good pigeon then, wasn't it? Sort of thing like, but it wasn't a homing pigeon, was it? No, because I mean, if it doesn't come home, it's just a pigeon. Experts suspect the pigeon that Sally Bird had named Joe after the US president-elect, he was at the time, hitched a ride on cargo ships across the Pacific. That's all them Joes have got a bit of a journey, haven't they? Joe's feat have attracted the attention of the Australian media, but the notoriously strict Australian quarantine service has got stuck in as well. Sally Bird said quarantine authorities called him on Thursday to ask him to catch the bird. Well, that's quite lazy from them. They say that if it's from America, they're concerned about bird diseases, and they wanted to know if I could help them out. He said he couldn't, and he said the quarantine authorities were now considering contracting a professional bird catcher. Do you know who I'd have in mind? Dick Dastardly. Dick Dastardly. Do you remember Dick Dastardly? I'd have him. It would be brilliant. I would like to see the Australian Dick Dastardly running around. You could make a TV show out of this, trying to catch this pigeon that got all the way from the States, and it would thwart him at every nook and cranny. Anyway, they go on to say, they've sort of like said it poses a direct biosecurity risk to Australian bird life, poultry industry, blah, 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 blah. Fella says he can't catch it with his bare hands since it had regained its strength. So he'd been trying to catch it with his bare... Of course he couldn't catch it with his bare hands, it'd fly. He's regained its strength. Yeah. He said the Oklahoma-based American Racing Pigeon Union had confirmed Joe was registered to an owner in Alabama. Well, he won't be coming over to get it. Well, no, he won't. There you go. So I like that headline from January. Racing pigeon, 13,000 kilometres. They think, oh, no, sod it. Quarantine risk, kill it. Okay, right. We've got another two in a row for you, and the first one you're going to hear is from the third of our German bands that we've had on tonight. They're actually from Cologne, and I really like this. It's track 2 from a single, a 3-track single that they've got out. The main track being Gegen the Wind. You'll have to excuse my pronunciation. I am not good at that type of thing. This is actually the second track off it. I am going to play the title track next week, but I'm going to go with this one, Intrigued the Zeit, because I just happen to really like it. I think it's a great song. I think the single's a great song, and I will play the other one. And the other one that you're going to hear after that is a French band, Offshore, who I really can't find very much about, other than the fact that I really like this track, Leaf Style, that's on a compilation album that I picked up on. I really like it. Can't find out much about the band at all. If anybody knows much about Offshore, please let me know. Here you go, 2 in a row. Let's hear them.
Dein Kopf ist leer. Eigentlich spürst du gar nichts mehr. Ich zieh dich hoch. Lass dich einfach wieder los. Keine Kraft, die es sonst so schafft. Vom Himmel oben bis auf den Boden. Es gibt Nationen, die dich nicht aufhalten können. Flieger, die alles zerstören. Panzer, die alles platt fahren können. Doch dir wird nichts passieren. Nur einen Schwachpunkt in dir hast du noch nicht entdeckt. Und der kann
If their music. There you go, Frozen Teacup, followed by Offshore. Gotta love both them bands. Right, you heard Snide earlier on in the show, and I gather that they've been in a bit of a recess of late, but have come bouncing back. Now, as we all know, many musicians are not just in one band, they have a number of different projects going, and one of the guys from Snide who sent me their stuff also sent me his other project. And this is the wonderfully named, it is a wonderfully named, the Cato Street Conspiracy. Right, now I like that name. I do like that name, so I needed to look into it more. It actually comes from an attempt in 1820 by various groups of dissatisfied citizens to murder the entire British cabinet. Do you know, I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often, really. I'm surprised it's since 1820 and we haven't had another crack at it. You know, I mean, the every street conspiracy. I could see that happening. So it failed. These things tend to, don't they? And it failed because they were tipped off by a spy in their ranks, a high-ranking member of their group. Was actually a spy, and he reported them to the various, I think it would have still been the Bow Street Runners back then, wouldn't it? And they were all caught, the main conspirators, and the members were all sentenced to be hanged, drawn and quartered. They were still doing that in 1820. But this was actually sentenced down a bit because they decided that was a bit old-fashioned and brutal. So they said, no, we're not going to hang, draw and quarter them. So half of them instead got sentenced to be hanged, and this is their word, not hung, I just said hung, hanged and beheaded. Oh, well, that's better, isn't it? I mean, that must have been a great relief to them, like, you're not being hanged, drawn and quartered. No, you've just been hanged and beheaded. Ah, right. Okay, that's half of you. And what about the other half? They're being transported to Australia. What? Can you imagine being in the cell and you've been told, right, you half, right there, you're all being, like, you're being hung and you're going to be beheaded, yeah? And the other half, we're sending you to Australia. I mean, well, we've seen what happens to fugitives over in Australia. We talked about that earlier on. You know, they were given beers. It's just the pigeons had to worry, but like criminals. I mean, what was with that? You know, they just sent them all off. Sent them all off to Australia, criminals. What a great... I'd have been committing crimes left, right and centre. So anyway, half of them got hung and beheaded, and the other half got sent to Australia. Yeah, you just got to love it. You really, really have. Anyway, back to the Cato Street Conspiracy and their music. And I like this. It's a good old-fashioned plunk. Gotta like get you going. Here we go. Cato Street Conspiracy and the Brill Cream Boys.
They all look
There you go, Cato Street conspiracy and Brill Green boys. Okay, carrying on. Couple arrested after woman walks husband on a lead. This was a good January, wasn't it? There was plenty of good stuff happening there. So what happened with this one then? Where are we now? Quebec. Oh, we're back in Canada again, are we? See, Keith the producer again. He's married. Yeah, it doesn't mention a name. Anyway, let's see what happened. I was hoping for a good BDSM story here. And indeed, maybe it is, but it doesn't actually specify that. I'd like to think it is. But this couple in Quebec, they decided to defy the local lockdown rules by she took her bloke round the block for a walk on a lead, because after a certain time, dog walking is the only activity allowed, apparently. And she took him. Did she think nobody would notice? I mean, he was never going to get round it, was it? Like kind of, hey, look, there's Karen out again. She's walking that strange two-legged dog with the bad comb over. Yeah, I mean, come on. Anyway, they were fined. They got fined for that, quite rightly so. I hope it wasn't too much of a fine, though, because at the end of the day, he's got to keep a decent roof over their kennel. Anyway, moving forward with the next band. Who we got? They're from Dublin, which is always a good sign, and they're called Weird Feelings. Weird Feelings. I've been getting some of them. Later. You remember the article I done last month on the sex dolls? Yeah, all sorts of weird feelings. Really. Mind you, I'm on a tangent here, aren't I? So they list, the band Weird Feelings, they list their once as being a proper burial for the Iceman. So I assume they actually mean that cave fella that they dug up years ago, and not the Marvel bloke, because, he's not dead. And so that would be really, really annoying, wouldn't it? And this song that I'm going to play for you is from December last year, and a mini album called Unmake Yourself. And the track is called The Truth. Here you go.
The best music you've never heard.
So over the course of this show, you've heard me talking about this mysterious fugitive in Australia that I keep dropping hints at. And that's because I've been saving this one, because I absolutely love this story. It's taking us to Darwin. It did happen in January as well. And what happened this time, a couple of fishermen out somewhere or other, fishing, crabs, I believe, yeah, they find some bloke up a tree, a naked fellow up a tree, and they heard him begging for help. So they got him down, and he told him he was absolutely dehydrated, and that for 4 solid days he'd been living off nothing but snails. And there's crocs and everything around. He's been up this tree, with water where there's crocs. Well, mind you, these guys are still fishing for crabs when there's crocs. So anyway, they found him and they pulled him down. So they get him onto their boat, and so what do? They give him a pair of shorts and a beer. Oh, you know, you've got to love the Aussies, haven't you? I mean, that's great. You know, they find him 4 days. You know, the poor bloke's dehydrated, so they give him a beer. That is it. That's proper Australian first aid. Absolutely bloody fantastic. Anyway, it turned out that he'd been on the run for a while, and what he'd actually done before he went on the run, he was on bail, and he cut off his electrical monitoring device. I bet he regretted that, didn't he? So nobody knew where he was. And there he was. So he's up there. So they've handed this guy in the end. You know, didn't say whether they got their shorts back or not, or whether he bought him a beer back. Probably not. And the last wing was that one of the fellas said he did consider going and visiting him in hospital, but he thought that probably not, seeing as he didn't seem to be such a good fella after all. Yeah. There's logic in that. I just love that story. I've been dying to tell you that. Anyway. Right at the start of the show, and you heard me coming in with a band called the Trashbag Pochos, cracking little number to open the show up with, and I'm listening to quite a bit of their stuff at the moment. I've only just come across them. Absolutely love their stuff at the moment. So I'm going to play another track by them. Yes, I am. This one is called You Didn't Ask for This, and it's from their Not Safe from the Working Class album. It's a bit kind of, I suppose you'd really describe it as that kind of folk punk band, which I sort of like that sort of stuff at the moment, the DIY punk, the folk punk, all that sort of stuff that's kicking around at the moment. There's some great punk, new wave, alternative, all the sorts of music that we like. There's a lot of it around at the moment. So here we go again. Going to play you another track by then. See what you think about this one. I've got time for one more good song before I sign off, and I've got a great one for you by Deathbag that'll be coming up in just a moment. I'll leave you with one last headline, and it's just a headline because I think you should look this one up yourself. It was sent to me by somebody. Man in striped shirt bummed to death by zebra. You know, you don't really need to read any much more about it. That kind of self-explanatory, isn't it? Anyway, before I go as well, thanks everybody that has sent me their stuff. to play. I'm still looking through some other stuff as well, and I'm still wanting stuff sent to me. If you've got anything that you want that's coming from the genres that we're playing, please send it to me. Get in contact with me by the If Beer Was Music Facebook page, and I will see what I can do for you. Right, okay, thanks to Keith again for producing the show, mixing it all for me over there in Canada, where all these strange things appear to be happening. Coincidence? You decide. Okay, right, I'm going to leave you with the band Deathbag. They're from Pennsylvania, and they've released this gem just in January. It's got a great sort of proto-punk sort of sound to it, like, which you've got to love that. And it's the perfect song to round off what I think has been a particularly good show with the music. Okay, everybody, bye for now. Here's Deathbag and a song called Simplify.
For the generations that know their music.